Alcaraz just lost to Maria Sakkari in a tennis match. And no, that's not a typo. The ATP Golden Boy, the guy who's supposed to be the future of men's tennis, got beaten by a woman in front of thousands of people. And his reaction? Blaming his drop shot with the most sarcastic smile you've ever seen. Should men and women players compete against each other in exhibition matches? Or does it just create unnecessary drama? Let me know what you think. The absolute chaos that just happened at the Australian Open's one-point slam event. Carlos Alcaraz, four-time Grand Slam champion, world number 3, the guy who's been trading titles with Jannik Sinner like they're trading cards, just lost to Maria Sakkari. And before anyone starts screaming about how this proves something about men's versus women's tennis, take a breath. This was a one-point match, meaning literally 1 point decided the entire thing. It's not like they played a full match and Sakkari dominated him. But still, the optics are absolutely hilarious. One-point slam is this exhibition event that happens during the Australian Open where players compete in single-point matches. One serve, one rally, 1 point, and you're either moving on or going home. It's basically tennis roulette. You can be the best player in the world and lose because of one bad bounce or one moment of hesitation. That's exactly what happened to Alcaraz, and the internet is having an absolute field day with it. Alcaraz steps up to play Sakkari, and there's this whole playful trash talk beforehand. Someone asks Sakkari if she's taking inspiration from a previous upset that happened on the same court. And she's like, let's see if Carlos gets tight, because he doesn't usually get tight in big matches. Alcaraz fires back saying he's locked in and focused, and that she's not going to get in his head. Classic pre-match banter, right? Everyone's smiling, it's all fun and games. Then they play the actual point, and Alcaraz goes for his signature drop shot. You know, the shot that's basically become his trademark? The shot that's won him countless points against the best players in the world? Yeah, that one. And it completely fails him. The ball doesn't clear the net properly, Sakkari gets to it, and just like that, Alcaraz is out of the competition. One of the favorites eliminated by a shot that's supposed to be his bread and butter. The best part, though, is Alcaraz's reaction afterward. Instead of being salty or making excuses, he just leans into the humor of it all. In the post-match interview, he says with the most deadpan delivery, "The drop shot is my shot." I don't know what happened, honestly. It has never let me down, not even in my toughest moments, but today, it is so thick you could cut it with a knife. He's clearly laughing at himself, acknowledging how ridiculous it is that the one shot that defines his game is what took him out. Now let's talk about the timing of all this, because the script title mentions a coach split, and that's actually a real thing that's been happening. Alcaraz and his longtime coach, Juan Carlos Ferrero, have had an incredibly successful partnership. Ferrero has been with Alcaraz through all 4 of his Grand Slam titles, through his rise to number 1, through everything. But recently there have been some rumors and reports about potential changes in the coaching setup. Nothing official has been announced about a full split, but there's definitely been some tension, or at least some discussions about the future of their partnership. So when Alcaraz loses in this admittedly silly exhibition event, people start connecting dots that might not even be there. Is he distracted by coaching drama? Is the potential split affecting his focus? Is his game falling apart without the stability of his coaching relationship? And the answer is probably no, because again, this was 1 point in an exhibition match that's basically for entertainment. But that doesn't stop people from speculating and making it into a bigger story than it actually is. The thing about Alcaraz is that he's usually so mentally strong. He doesn't get tight in big moments, which is what makes him so dangerous. He's won Grand Slam finals, he's beaten Djokovic and Sinner in huge matches, he's clutch when it matters. So seeing him lose this 1 point, especially to a woman player, is jarring because it goes against everything we know about him. It's like watching Superman trip over his own cape. Maria Sakkari, to her credit, handled the whole thing perfectly. She's been having a rough time lately in actual competitive tennis, so getting this win, even in a silly exhibition format, probably felt good. She gets to advance in the one-point slam tournament and potentially win $1 million, which is nothing to sneeze at. And she gets to say she beat Carlos Alcaraz, which is a story she'll be telling for years regardless of the context. The interviews before the match are funny in hindsight. Someone asks Alcaraz about playing Australian Football League in Melbourne, asking if he's going to throw away his tennis racket. He talks about how he kicked the football a few times and it was more difficult than he thought. Little did he know that in a few minutes, his tennis racket was going to betray him worse than any football ever could. The irony is beautiful. After the match, Alcaraz mentions he's stepping back on the Rod Laver Arena the next day for actual competition, and he's excited about it. This is clearly him trying to move past the exhibition loss and focus on what actually matters, which is the Australian Open itself. But the damage is done. The clips are everywhere, the memes are being made. Carlos Alcaraz lost to Maria Sakkari, and the internet will never let him forget it. Let's be real about what this actually means for Alcaraz's career, which is absolutely nothing. This loss doesn't count toward his ranking, it doesn't affect his seeding at the Australian Open, it doesn't change anything about his actual tennis ability. 1 point in an exhibition match tells us exactly 0 things about how good a player is. It's entertainment, it's marketing, it's a fun way to engage fans before the real tournament starts. That's it. But perception matters, and right now the perception is that Carlos Alcaraz, one of the best men's players in the world, lost to a woman. And you know there are going to be people who use this to make stupid arguments about gender in sports. They're going to ignore the format, ignore the context, ignore everything that makes this situation unique, and just focus on the result. That's annoying and predictable, but it's the world we live in. The coaching situation adds an interesting layer to this because Alcaraz is at a point in his career where he needs to figure out his long-term plan. He's still young, only in his early 20s, but he's already accomplished so much that people expect perfection from him. When you win Grand Slams and reach #1 at such a young age, the pressure becomes intense. Every loss gets scrutinized, every decision gets questioned, every partnership gets analyzed for cracks. Juan Carlos Ferrero has been incredible for Alcaraz's development. He's helped him become more consistent, more strategic, more mentally tough. But maybe Alcaraz is thinking about what the next phase of his career looks like. Maybe he wants a fresh perspective, a different voice, a new approach. Or maybe the reports about tensions are overblown and they're perfectly fine. We don't actually know because neither of them has said anything definitive. What we do know is that Alcaraz has been splitting his time between dominating the tour and dealing with minor injuries and inconsistencies. He's not quite as dominant as Sinner has been lately, which has to be frustrating for him. Sinner won the Australian Open last year and the US Open, and he's been incredibly consistent. Meanwhile, Alcaraz won Wimbledon and the French Open, but has had some unexpected early losses at other tournaments. The rivalry between them is incredible for tennis, but it also means Alcaraz is constantly being compared to someone who's on an absolute tear right now. The drop shot failure is almost poetic when you think about it. Alcaraz's drop shot is one of the most talked about shots in tennis. Commentators love it, fans love it, opponents hate it. He uses it at crucial moments, he uses it when he's dominating, he uses it as a show of confidence. And in this one meaningless point, it completely abandons him. It's like a writer's joke that got too real. Sakkari saying she wanted to see if Alcaraz would get tight is interesting because she's basically calling him out in the nicest way possible. She's saying he's usually so calm and collected, let's see if he can handle the pressure of this weird format against me. And in a way, she was right. Not that he got tight in a nervous sense, but that the unusual situation led to an unusual result. He went for his signature shot, the thing he's most confident in, and it didn't work. That's not tightness, that's just bad luck and bad execution in a single moment. The fact that Alcaraz is already thinking about the next day and the actual tournament shows his mentality is still solid. He's not dwelling on this exhibition loss, he's not making it bigger than it is, he's moving on. That's the mark of a champion. If he had lost this point and then spiraled into doubt and frustration, that would be concerning. But he's laughing about it, being sarcastic, acknowledging how weird it is and looking forward. That's exactly what he should be doing. Some people are going to use this loss as evidence that Alcaraz is in some kind of decline or crisis, especially with the coaching rumors swirling around. But that's nonsense. He's still one of the 3 best players in the world, along with Sinner and Djokovic. He's still winning Grand Slams. He's still young and improving. 1 point in an exhibition match doesn't change any of that. If he goes out in the first round of the Australian Open, then we can talk about potential problems. But this is just a funny story that will be forgotten in a week. The 1 point slam tournament is designed for these kinds of moments. It's chaos by nature. An amateur player named Jordan Smith actually ended up winning the whole thing, beating professional players in single-point matches. That shows you how much variance there is in this format. Any given point, anything can happen. The better player doesn't always win when it's just 1 point. That's what makes it entertaining. But it also means we can't read too much into the results. Alcaraz's comment about the drop shot never failing him, even in his toughest moments, is actually a reminder of all the huge matches he's won. He's hit drop shots to win Grand Slam points. He's used them against Djokovic in finals. He's made them work when the pressure is at its absolute highest. So, yeah, it's pretty funny that the one time it fails him is in a single-point exhibition match that doesn't matter at all. The tennis gods have a sense of humor. Looking ahead to the Australian Open, Alcaraz is still one of the favorites. He's got a good draw, he's playing well leading up to it, and he's mentally prepared despite this silly exhibition loss. If anything, losing to Sakkari in the one-point slam might have loosened him up a bit, given him something to laugh about instead of carrying the weight of expectations into the tournament. Sometimes a meaningless loss can actually be good for you because it reminds you that tennis is just a game and you can't win every single point. The coaching situation is still something to watch going forward. Whether Alcaraz and Ferrero continue their partnership or make changes, it's going to have a big impact on his career. But that's a decision that will be made based on actual tennis results and their working relationship, not because of one drop shot in an exhibition match. Let's not pretend this loss has anything to do with his coaching setup. So Carlos Alcaraz lost to Maria Sakkari in a one-point match, blamed his drop shot with perfect sarcasm, and moved on with his life. That's how you handle a meaningless exhibition loss. Now let's see if he can actually win the Australian Open. If you enjoyed this breakdown of tennis chaos, smash that like button and subscribe for more.